Today, we will talk about the famous Disney movie Maleficent 2. The movie was released in 2019, and they presented a direct sequel to the events of the first part, with a greater expansion of the fairy world and the conflict between the kingdoms, and with a magical performance from Angelina Jolie, who returned in the role of Maleficent with more power than before.
Before we start the movie, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.
In a world where magic breathes through every tree and every whisper of the wind, Maleficent, the once feared, once misunderstood guardian of the Moors, finds herself drawn into a new conflict she never wished for. Years have passed since she lifted the curse from Aurora, and the bond between them has grown into something unbreakable, deeper than blood. Aurora has become Queen of the Moors, a symbol of harmony between creatures of nature. For Maleficent, Aurora is not just a daughter, but the only light that ever softened the shadows in her heart. Everything begins on a quiet morning when Aurora and Prince Philip decide to take the next step in the relationship. Philip proposes, believing that their marriage could unite two worlds that have spent centuries divided, the human kingdom of Ulstead and the magical realm of the Moors. Aurora, hopeful and full of love, agrees. But when she brings the news to Maleficent, the Guardian's face freezes. Her eyes darken, not out of anger, but out of fear. Fear of losing Aurora, fear of being replaced, fear of history repeating itself. Yet Aurora's joy is irresistible, and Maleficent just tries to accept it. Soon after, an invitation arrives from the royal family of Ulstead for a formal dinner. King John wishes peace, but Queen Ingrid has different intentions hidden behind pearls, smiles, and a mask of courtesy. Aurora, wanting Maleficent to feel included, insists she attends the dinner with her. And so, against her instincts, Maleficent flies to Ulstead, cloaked in elegance and power, but carrying the weight of centuries of mistrust. The dinner begins with forced politeness, but beneath every word lies a dagger. Queen Ingrid provokes Maleficent with subtle insults about her past, about the curse, about how Aurora grew up without proper human guidance. Maleficent tries to remain composed, though her wings twitch with irritation. Philip and Aurora exchange worried glances as the tension builds. The queen continues poking, delighted by the discomfort she creates. Finally, she speaks of the war between humans and the Moors as if it were Maleficent's fault, twisting history with a calm, cruel smile. Suddenly, King John collapses at the table, struck by a mysterious curse. Ingrid gasps dramatically and points at Maleficent, accusing her of dooming the king. Guards surround her. Aurora begs her to stop, to explain, but Maleficent realizes the trap. She spreads her wings, hurt and humiliated, and flies out through the window. But as she escapes, a soldier shoots her with an iron-coated bullet. Iron burns her skin like fire. Weak and barely conscious, she spirals downward into the dark sea below. Just as her vision fades, a powerful winged creature swoops down and carries her away. She wakes in a hidden sanctuary far beneath the earth, home to a forgotten race, the Dark Fey, creatures with wings and horns like hers. They reveal that Maleficent is not the only one of her kind. Many have been hunted to near extinction by humans. Among them is Connell, a peaceful leader who believes coexistence is still possible, and Bora, a fierce warrior who burns with hatred for humanity. Maleficent learns that she is uniquely powerful, carrying the rare phoenix lineage, an ancient bloodline capable of extraordinary magic. While Maleficent recovers, Queen Ingrid prepares for war. In secret chambers beneath the castle, she manufactures a deadly red powder created by mixing iron with the magical flowers of the Moors. This powder doesn't just kill, it annihilates magical beings instantly, turning them into dust. She arms her soldiers, designs war machines, and even manipulates Aurora into believing Maleficent is dangerous. Aurora, heartbroken and confused, feels torn between her adopted mother and the human world she is about to marry into. Meanwhile, the Dark Fey reveal the truth about their past. Generations ago, humans destroyed their homelands, forcing them into hiding. They have waited for a leader strong enough to reclaim their future. Some believe Maleficent is that leader. Others fear her emotional connection to Aurora will weaken her resolution. As tension grows, the Dark Fey prepare for a full-scale war against Ulstead. Back in the castle, Aurora makes a shocking discovery. The Queen poisoned King John and framed Maleficent. She also uncovers plans for the massacre of magical creatures under the guise of a wedding celebration. Aurora tries to warn everyone, but she is locked away as the Queen prepares her final attack. Magical creatures from the moors are lured into a giant cathedral where music, played by an organ modified with the deadly red powder, becomes a weapon of genocide. One by one, fairies turn to dust as the music echoes through the stone walls. Just before the destruction is complete, Maleficent, now fully aware of her phoenix powers, rises into the sky with the Dark Fey behind her. The battle erupts in the clouds above the castle. Dark Fey warriors fall from the sky, shot down by iron weapons. Explosions shake the battlefield. Maleficent breaks through the storm and reaches Aurora, who is desperately trying to stop the Queen herself. In a moment of desperate violence, the Queen aims a crossbow at Aurora. Maleficent leaps forward to protect her, taking the fatal hit. Her body disintegrates into black ash as Aurora collapses to the ground, sobbing her name. But death is not the end. From the ashes, a spark of golden light flickers. It grows, rising with heat and brilliance until wings of molten fire spread across the sky. Maleficent is reborn as the Phoenix, the embodiment of ancient magic. Flames burst across the battlefield as she unleashes her full power, scattering soldiers and destroying war machines. The Queen's army collapses, overwhelmed by a force beyond anything they imagined. Maleficent returns to her original form, landing beside Aurora. With gentle eyes, she wipes Aurora's tears before turning to the Queen. Peace finally returns. King John awakens from the artificial curse, horrified by the actions of his own wife. He vows to unite humans and magical beings permanently. The wedding of Aurora and Philip becomes a symbol of the harmony that once seemed impossible. Nature blooms brighter than ever. Magical creatures celebrate in the glow of unity, and standing above them, high in the golden sky, Maleficent spreads her wings once more. She promises Aurora that she will always return, for true mothers never abandon their children.